I'm Khyra Steiner, and you're listening to Elaborate with K. Elaborate with K. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Elaborate with K. So obviously there's a lot that's been going on in the US the past few weeks, honestly. LA is still dealing with all of these wildfires. I know the South and the East Coast have been dealing with windstorms and snowstorms and even places that don't normally get snow. Transitions of power, the TikTok ban, like there's a lot going on. And sometimes you just need a place to escape to. So, in honor of that, today's episode is going to be about third places. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so to start, what exactly is a third place? Third place is actually a term that was coined by Ray Oldenburg in his book, The Great Good Place. And essentially, a third place is a neutral space other than home or work that you can go to kind of enjoy your time, relax, and do things other than what you're doing at home or at school or work. I would consider work and school to both be coupled together. So school is not necessarily your third place. But an example of a third place would be somewhere like the mall or a coffee shop, somewhere that you can go to relax, to kind of have fun. And it's considered to be like more of a neutral ground between work and home, sorry. Somewhere that you can kind of think about other things and unwind and just have a nice relaxing time, where you get a chance to really just like self-reflect and you're not putting your mind on all of these tasks and things that you have to get done like you are when you're working or when you're at home and stuff like that. So I think that especially in hard times like this, it's important to try to find your third place, somewhere that makes you feel calm or at peace, comfortable, somewhere that you really enjoy being. And that's not to say that you shouldn't enjoy, being at home, or that you shouldn't love your job and have it not feel like work. But it is to say that we spend so much of our times, either at work or at school. And then when you're home, I feel like a lot of the time you are also doing tasks. You have to clean, organize, grocery, like all of these things. And so it is nice, the idea of having this third place as somewhere that you can kind of escape to. And I remember watching a video essay about this, about how with the rise of social media and everything, a lot of people's third place ends up being just within their phone. And it's not necessarily a physical place, but more of a state, I guess, where I feel like a lot of people, their escape would be to go to TikTok or YouTube, Netflix, all of these things that are accessible by like the push of a button or at your fingertips. And yes, it is some form of escape, but it's not the same thing as like a third place because you're physically still in that same environment. For example, like if you look back at old TV shows and old sitcoms, they often have a third place, whether it's a coffee shop that the friend group is always going to, or I don't know, it might be like a mall or a park that they always hang out at or walk around, or a boardwalk, or whatever it is. They always seem to have this third place that is other than the main sets of like the home area, the work and school area, and then they have this other place where honestly I feel like in a lot of sitcoms and TV shows, their third place ends up being the main set for the majority of the show. And that's because it's a place where it's not so much of like the mundane home work. And I think a lot of times, even when people are watching TV shows, it's because it offers them some type of escape and like recluse from the world of work and school and the world of home and all of the tasks and everything. And so that is their escape. And so I feel like a lot of times when you go to your escape, you don't really want to go sit on your break or on your free time and go watch someone as they type at a computer all day, or you don't really want to watch someone clean their entire house all the time. Like sometimes you want in your escape another escape as well. And so that's where this third place really comes in. And I brought it up in the context of all of the crazy things happening in the world, because I think that with so much stuff going on, it's really, really easy to get wrapped up and a little bit overwhelmed with everything that's going on, with watching the news and hearing about everything. And it's important and it's really good to stay informed, but I also understand that we are human and sometimes too much information can be a lot and it gets overwhelming and it's really hard to process everything, and you start feeling just anxious and overwhelmed, and like there's so much stuff going on and you're almost like drowning. And so I think that in times like this, especially if you are able to and if you have the ability to kind of find your third place. And I think the thing is too, it doesn't need to be a specific set place that you go to all the time. So yes, it can be, you go to this coffee shop every day and you kind of just sit, you drink a drink and you people watch, or it could be a bookstore that you love going to. It can be a mall, it can be a park. But it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have a specific designated third place. I think the idea is more of it's important to have places and spaces where you can go to kind of escape and relax and have a different mindset. So I think that if you're looking to find a third place, a good place to start would be, like I mentioned a lot, coffee shops, or even I love going to the mall and even just walk around the mall, see what you can find, window shop. It doesn't have to be, the thing with the third place is it doesn't have to be tied to a specific task. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. So just because you're going to the mall doesn't mean you have to buy something. Like you can really just walk around the stores, get some exercise, get your steps in, just look around. Or maybe if you live by the beach, maybe you go sit by the water and kind of people watch or watch the ocean. You can go on a hike and kind of like look out over your city if you want. Maybe you go to a bookstore and you discover a new book, or you go to a coffee shop and try a new drink, or you go to like a little boardwalk or an outlet or something and kind of just walk around and get some fresh air, which I think is also important, especially if you're lucky enough to be in an area that is not currently impacted poorly by the weather, whether that's like smoke and the fires or the snowstorm. Like if you're able to, and when you get a chance to, whenever the weather gets nicer where you are, you have a chance to kind of go somewhere else. I think it's important to also get fresh air, take a little bit of a walk, breathe in some air, get some sunlight. I know that, like I said, I know that's not always possible, and it's not possible for a lot of people right now, depending on just where you are, your location wise. But I think that when you do have the opportunity to kind of just take a moment and breathe in the fresh air, sit outside, go for a walk on the beach or walk outside. And I think that, again, as it tied into a lot of people's third place being on their phones, I feel like with the rise in social media and streaming and all of these things, there are so fewer opportunities that people actually have to go outside. Because it used to be, if you want to interact with other people, you want to see your friends, you have to make a point of going out to go see them, going to someone's house, finding a place to hang out, rather than you can just pick up your phone and FaceTime them, and it's not the same. So I think that also getting out of your physical regular spaces, but getting out of a physical indoor space as well, and kind of taking a minute to be outside and, just breathing fresh air. I think it feels really good, and it's something that is sometimes underrated. Yeah, underrated. When we don't think about it as much, but truly, I think when you get the opportunity to do it, I know for me, like my school campus is beautiful, and as I've mentioned many, many times, I live and have always lived in Southern California, which is amazing. Besides the current fires that are happening right now and like the fires that we have, the weather here is typically really nice and like it looks really pretty. And so I really enjoy honestly doing my work outside and, sitting on a patio or a balcony or something and working on an assignment or a project and getting the fresh air, a little bit of sunlight. And I think it makes me feel more productive. But even if I'm not more productive, like it makes me feel happier just getting that like fresh air, the blue skies. Um, so yeah, just finding those places where you can go outside and enjoy yourself, but finding a third place, I think. And I think I push you also to kind of get out of your comfort zone, get out of your head and your phone as well. I know that with TikTok disappearing for the 12 hours that it was gone, honestly, I know a lot of people that were saying they just kept clicking on the app and, you get the error message, but how the fact that we are so trained and it's such muscle memory to open up these apps on your phone when you're bored, and how and I'm guilty of this too, but like if you're waiting in line for something, right? Like waiting for, I don't know, you're waiting for a ride at an amusement park, or you're waiting for the line to go into the bank. And we are so, it's so difficult for us to just be bored and kind of sit in ourselves. And we're so addicted to tapping on our phone and like finding a TikTok to watch, or Instagram reel to watch, a game to play, something to look at, something to make yourself look busy. And I think that we do a lot more of finding something to do and trying to make sure that you look busy rather than actually being busy and being present. So I think that the other thing with a third place is it really allows you a chance to be more present because you're in a new space. You're somewhere that you're not typically used to. I feel like a lot of times if you're at work or you're at home, all of the things you're doing end up being muscle memory because you're so used to it and you're like, okay, yeah, like, let me go in. It's part of the routine. You walk in, you put your stuff on your desk, open your laptop, and you start typing away. Or you get home, you put stuff away, you know that you have to clean the kitchen, and it's not fun, and it's more of a routine than anything else. So I challenge you to go out, find your third place, explore different places, see what you can find, and even if you try somewhere and you're like, okay, I didn't really like this, try something else. Just branch out of your comfort zone, get out of your head and out of your own little bubble of physical space that you typically are in. And it's also a great way, I think, for people to, meet new friends, meet new people, and get out of your circle, out of your head. I know a big trend right now, besides social media, is run clubs and social clubs. And so maybe that becomes your third place, where it's not about the specific physical place, but it's about the people that are in it. And you get a chance to meet new people. And I think that run clubs or gyms and social clubs are great because one, they host events in new places in different areas that you might not go to by yourself, and you're getting a chance to socialize and meet other people from different backgrounds and different situations and learn more about other people, and it just gives you a chance to form new connections and a chance to learn and everything. So I think that those are also a great opportunity to look into if you're looking for a third place. Plus, if it's you're joining a run club or an exercise club, you're socializing, you're finding a new place, and you're also getting your exercise in. So it's a win-win-win, really. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. So, find your third place if you can. Don't forget to also check in on your people, whether they are on the West Coast dealing with fires, or the East Coast or the South and they have the snowstorms, or anywhere else in the world. Maybe they're just watching the news. Maybe they're just overwhelmed. Maybe they're just having a bad day. Make sure that you are checking in on your people. Make sure that you are checking in and taking care of yourself as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching or listening, and I'll talk to you next Sunday. Bye. And yeah, talk to you next Sunday.